and welcome to Mr. Randy's Wine and Spirits. I am Mr. Randy, and today we're going to be talking about a gin, the Botanist Islay Dry Gin. So, if you're new to the channel, hello and welcome. Come on in, get comfortable. All my returning viewers, you know how we do. Come on in, let's get the show on the road. So, this is the first Islay gin. Not too sure if it was the first ever gin in Scotland, but it definitely stated that it was the first gin of Islay, or the islands. Now, it does say that it is a Islay dry. The 22 foraged island botanicals. Now, there are more than 22 botanicals used. There are actually 31, but it likes to state the 22 as a point that all 22 of those are foraged from the island of Islay. Now, this does come in at a 46% alcohol by volume. I'm going to give you, there's not a whole lot to look on the back. Just some legal stuff. A little bit of explanatory. But it says distilled from 100% grain neutral spirits. It's got a nice big fat synthetic cork. Ooh, almost slipped it. So now I have tried this with tonic water. Very nice gin and tonic. It actually does also pair well with ginger ale. No sense in talking about a color because it is pretty clear, crystal clear, probably better than tap water. It's got a decent amount of viscosity. Once those legs start running, might take a moment. But let's go ahead and, so this was established, the gin line was established in 2010. It is coming from, look at that, Bruichladdich. It is a Bruichladdich. Look at that, okay. There's a little bit of light. I think we need to like slow swirl it, You know? There's a little on the back end. Huh? Anyway, moving on, I guess. 46%. Whew, it is a relatively on the stronger side when it comes to gin. Some gins usually hang out around 42, 43%. Some of them do go down as far as 40. They're not as quite as potent and carry well when they're that low. They carry better when they're a higher percentage ABV. Mr. Randy paid just under $31 out the door for this. It was on sale. On average, in my area, it's anywhere between $35 and $40 out the door after taxes and whatnot. Here in the state of Texas, it's, I think the taxes for alcohol are the same. So it's the 8.25%. And fairly confident that it's still the case. I haven't checked it in a while, but yes, there are taxes here in the state of Texas on everything but food, except for food. But then they define what is food. So fun with that, huh? So on the nose, it's citrus, and I found out that the citrus is actually lemon. There's lemon, spearmint, and I actually found out that there was chamomile. I do drink chamomile tea. It's very nice. There's some floral, and it's pretty well balanced. Everything in there is very well balanced. Very nice. Let's go ahead and get on the palate. It's very nice. And I do believe what really helps a gin go well on the palate is the higher ABV. Because the lower ones don't seem to carry that well. They seem a bit muted, and I think it's the ABV. You pump up that ABV, you're going to get better characteristics, especially on the palate. Now, they say that there's yellow bedding, straw bedding, which is, I tried to read that. None of it really made sense. There's not a lot of information out there on this. I don't think there's a whole lot to be done on gin. I mean, you could fluff it up as much as you want, but that doesn't speak anything clear of what it actually deserves. Gin is very nice. It's very beautiful. It's a lovely libation, especially a gin and tonic. It's very refreshing, very crisp. It's a very nice nose. The palate's very nice. Let's go ahead and get a finish on this. A little bit in there. It does have a lot of spice coming out right on the front of the finish. It's a very crisp and clean. It's very crisp, very clean. There's a lot of lemon. That's that citrus. That lemon is really carrying everything. There's some mint. Not a whole lot of floral. The floral is blended well, but it's sort of hanging out behind that lemon and that mint. It's very nice. A little bit of tingliness on the roof of the mouth. Majority of what I'm getting is on the tongue. There's a little bit starting to build up on the cheeks right now. There's that astringentness, you know, the alcohol sort of like cringes up all the pores and whatnot. It gets the skin taut on the cheeks. Yeah, now the lips and the gums are starting to get a little tingly. I'm working everything around. There's just a little bit of heat on the back end, of the top of the esophagus, probably like a 2 out of 5. It's there, it's noticeable. It's actually nice. This has a relatively nice finish. I'm not keeping track particularly of how many gins I've had, but I do believe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This may be my 6th or 7th gin. I'd probably put it in the top 5. It's definitely in the top 5. There's only 2 gins that do not surpass this one. I'm still getting some tingling, more like a numbness on the lips and in the gums. But then again, this is a straight pour. This isn't a mixing. I really do love a gin and tonic. I think it's the most beautiful libation. It also, like I said, it also mixes well with ginger ale, but I prefer the gin and tonic. It's very nice. Now it's time for my score. I'm going to give this a solid 4 out of 5. Solid 4 out of 5. Basing it on the regular price point of between $35 and $40, which is a typical range for gin in the same category. Yes, a solid 4 out of 5 is definitely going to hit this one. Like I said, it's definitely my top 5 when it comes to gin. My fair price. I'm going to leave it alone. We'd always like to see these bottles go off the shelf for a little bit less than what they're asking, but I think it's fair. We're going to leave it alone. Would I buy this again? I would. But for the moment, probably not going to come back to it unless it's a very, offer I can't refuse kind of thing. If it's on sale, this one was on sale, but it's going to have to be a little bit better of a sale, like something I just can't walk away from. Like I'll buy one and I'll put it in my stash. I currently have, I think, only 3 bottles in my stash. And I'll do a video on that when I get to 5 bottles. Once I get to the 5 bottles, I'll do the 5 bottles in my stash video. So now it's kind of like the finish has finally calmed down pretty much all the way. So there it is. The Botanist Islay Dry Gin. The first Islay Gin. Let us know in the comments what you think. And as always, thanks for stopping by here at Mr. Randy's Wine and Spirits. Have a good one.